Hi, I'm Elaine. Welcome to Top Tip Tuesday on my Stamp with Elaine Facebook page. I am doing a 101 on the Daisy Dies. Today is the launch day of the new Annual Catalogue, so I'm able to show you the inside of the catalogue. This is the Fresh as a Daisy suite, and you'll find it on pages 110 to 111. And these are the stamps and those are the dies. Can you see that? So I'm going to run through a 101 on the dies. You have this die which cuts all the flowers in one fell swoop. So they're all joined together, but you can also snip it off and use them individually as well if you wish. This die here, I don't really know what it's used for, but I did cut that out and put it behind these holes for the filaments in the flower. So you can die cut that in a different colour to put behind it. That's what I've used it for, but I don't know whether I'm correct in doing that or not. You could also use this one to do the same thing for the larger flower. Okay, this die will cut out the stamped image of the flower. I've marked my dies so I know how to orient my stamp on the stamp case, so it makes it easier to stamp and die cut without having to waste a lot of time trying to find the right position. So that goes there, and I've marked it on my stamp, as you can see here and here. So the petal here is a little bit squared off, so I've marked it here on the die, so that's a squared off petal, so you can do that straight away. You see these dies here, there's one here and there's also one there. These three here, they cut and emboss the detail inside the flower, which is here. Can you see that? So long as you cut them in different colours, they will act as accents for your larger dies. These dies here. But you don't want to cut them together. If you think you're using it as a shortcut and you want to cut them together, what will happen is you get this, and that's not what you want. So they have to be cut separately. Cheerful Daisies die set is a two-step stamping stamp set. So it has a solid image and it also has a linear image. The solid image is depicted by this black outline here for the stamp. So that's the stamp that has to be stamped in a lighter shade, and that is the more detailed stamp, so you need to stamp it in a darker shade. But I find that instead of using two ink pads, I can just stamp off and get a lighter shade there, and then stamp directly, which is the first generation stamping, and then get this effect. Okay, so that's the completed stamp. Same for this one, that's the light, that's the dark, and that's it stamped together. And there's the light and the dark, and then stamped together. I didn't have enough room, so that's why I did these two as a shortcut. Now these dies will cut out the flower, the stamped flower image, like so. And it will also cut out the flower base like this, if you want to just use the dies to die cut your floral images. So these ones which nestle inside this actually has details on it, so it cuts and embosses at the same time. I don't know whether the camera will pick that up, but then you need to have two tones, so you cut it in different coloured cardstock to give it the contrast. The same applies for this die here and this. That cuts the outline and that cuts out the embossed detail. Now a tip with this, stamp and die cut the petal without doing the flower centre first. Then once you've die cut it, you can add your flower centre stamp, because then you'd be more accurate. If you do it before you stamp it too far to the left or too far to the right. This one obviously die cuts the stem, and this one die cuts the leaf, and this one cuts out a sprig, and this one will cut out the profile of this flower here, which is this one here. That's not a two-step stamping one, that's a solid image on its own. Then of course you've got the flower centres, so if you want to pop the flower centre up you can, because that's separate. And this one, I'm not sure what it's for, but I think you could use it to cut out a different coloured cardstock and put it underneath the floral images to make the flower centres pop. And there's a label, so there's this label that you can die cut with stitched edging on the straight bits but not the corners. So that's the 101 on the Cheerful Daisy Dies. So I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching. Bye.